Have you ever had one of those quiet moments in retirement when you wonder, is this is all there is? I mean, there's still people that love you. There's still things that you have to do. But you spent 40 or 50 years looking after other people, handling a career, probably children, problems, scheduling, meals, the whole 9 yards. And then you find yourself retired. And maybe after a day, after a month, after a couple of years, you're wondering, what do I do with the rest of my life? Are you bored? Are you looking for something? For many women, this does happen. The calendar becomes emptier, your phone rings less often, and routines take up your whole day. If you've ever felt that way, this video is for you because there is lots for you in your future life. My name is Eleanor Rose. I'm a researcher and author, and I look into all things retirement for women over 50, and especially 60, 70, and 80, because there's so much more to life than many, many women seem to think. For most of our lives, you were looking after somebody else. Little pieces of yourself get bitten off. But now you've got freedom. In retirement, freedom. But the possibility is that it's empty freedom. Researchers have found that a strong sense of purpose is closely associated with physical health being good, happiness, lower rates of depression, and even a longer life. Purpose. Here's some research. The National Institute on Aging encourages older adults to stay involved in meaningful activities because purpose doesn't simply make life more enjoyable. It helps us to continue to thrive. Good word that is, thrive. And it makes perfect sense. When you have something in life that you see as purpose, your life is fuller and brighter. Even some of the people that we saw as movie stars found something in retirement to give them purpose. For instance, Doris Day from long ago, and she went on to protecting animals and founded the Doris Day Animal Foundation. Kept her very busy. And then there was Gene Hackman. And instead of just being bored, he started writing novels, successful novels. But a story that has really touched me that came in on email because women around the world do send their stories for me to share on this YouTube channel. And pretty well, what I'm looking for is successful stories in retirement. And this story is about a lady named Mandy who at 71 was kind of fed up with her life and felt that she was just going nowhere and that retirement wasn't very interesting anymore. She faithfully went to the gym. She loved keeping active. She looked after grandchildren quite often. But after a while, she noticed that her heart wasn't in it and she felt unfinished. So every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, when she went to the gym, she passed a particular farm among all the other farms on her way into town. And this was, she knew, a rescue farm. And it was, for the longest time, just a place she passed, nothing particular. And then she began to really notice there were horses, llamas, children, people, and she would notice these things as she drove by. And then, one time, in her local paper, she saw a little notice that said, "Volunteers needed at the rescue farm." A sort of a light bulb went off, and she thought she passed it every day. Maybe there was something there for her. So she went in and she said, "Do you need volunteers?" And the lady said, "Oh, do we need volunteers? Yes, we do. We have more animals than we know what to do with. Abused animals, lonely animals. Please become a volunteer." And so she did. She still went to the gym, but she went to the rescue farm. And a lot of times, her first 2 hours were filling water bowls, sweeping out barns, shoveling you know what, all kinds of physical work, which was good for her health. The last hour was the precious hour of her 3 hours at the rescue farm. She would sit quietly with frightened rabbits and just cuddle them. And sometimes baby lambs, baby goats, kittens, and tiny little animals until they relaxed. What a wonderful way to spend an hour. She smiles telling the story because she says, "I think the little animals rescued me as much as I rescued them." Now the farm depends on her to come. She's taken on a little more responsibility, and the management of the farm has come and asked her, would she consider being a sub-manager, particularly of the baby animals. And of course, there's no pay and there's no title and there's no applause, but there's something more valuable. She was genuinely happy after she started going to that rescue farm. And that was her purpose. It was Mandy's new beginning. And I'm wondering how many women across the world drive by something or think about something that they could involve themselves in to brighten their lives. Maybe it's something at the library, a church, a community garden, a museum, or maybe go sing in a choir, a shelter, a museum, or maybe start a small business. Maybe you've had an idea in your head for years and years and never thought to do it. And maybe now's the time. A little challenge, and why not? The opportunity is not there for changing the world, but it could be there for changing you and making you more fulfilled and happier. And then you know your health will improve and you'll live longer. That's the good one. It might be the first time in decades you think about the sentence, what would bring me joy? Not what anyone else expects, but something from your heart. As we grow older, people often ask us, so what do you do in retirement? And a better question is, what am I capable of doing? Because let's face it, lots of times senior women are very capable and maybe bored. If you're feeling a little empty, if you've wondered if the important years have passed you by, your experiences still matter. Your kindness still matters. And your wisdom still matters. And somewhere, someone is waiting exactly for what you have to offer. Don't let retirement be a closed chapter and quietly fade away. You need to take hold of your life. And if you don't have joy in your life, find a purpose. Put yourself out there. Try things. It's a good thing to stay involved in your later years. I'd love to hear from you. Has retirement given you a new purpose? Or is there something you always wanted to try and now maybe with some encouragement you just might do it? Please share it in the comments below. Whatever you've been thinking about or whatever you've started to do that you could consider a purpose. And thank you so much for spending time with me. Women across the world, we need to stick together and encourage each other to have a full life. See you in the next video.